Kol tzipor tehoiro toichelu. What's the chiddush? The Gemara says in Masechta Kedushin, Nun Zayin Amud Beis, can a person be mekadesh a isha with a tzipor from a metzoiro? He gives the isha a tzipor from a metzoiro, and he tells her, Harei at mekudeshes li betzipor zoi. Is she mekudeshes or not? The Gemara says there are two tziporim. One that they shecht and the blood goes into the water. That water with the dam tzipor they spritz on the metzoiro. That is osur. You can be mekadesh with that tzipor. That's osur bano. But the tzipor that they send away, that is mutar behano'o. And if she gets that tzipor for kedushin, she is mekudeshes. This posik comes to be matir the tzipor from metzoiro. We know that a metzoiro has to bring two tziporim. One they shecht and one they send out al penei hasode. The one that is being shechted is osur to eat, isur achilo. The one that is sent away al penei hasode is muter to shecht and to eat it. Called tzipor tehoiro toichelu. The Gemara learns from a different place also. If it would be isur to eat the tzipor from the metzoiro, comes out that every other tzipor should be osur, because by a balcha you don't say bittul beroif. So you're being machshul somebody, and the Torah doesn't say shlach letakolo. So if you send away a tzipor which is osur bahano, you're going to be machshul somebody with a tzipor which is osur bahano. In Parshas Re'ei, called tzipor tehoiro toichelu is coming to be matir the tzipor chai from the metzoiro and an iser on the tzipor shchuto of the metzoiro. Next posuk, v'zeh asher lo yisochlu mehen. The Gemara says over there in Kedushin, the rabbis is a tzipor shchuto shebe metzoiro. If somebody did eat the tzipor shchuto from the metzoiro, he's over on a lav and he's over on an asay. V'zeh asher lo yisochlu mehem hanesher v'haperes v'ho'ozniyo. The Gemara says in Chulin that any bird which is similar to the nesher is considered an oif tome, unclean to eat. What do you see by a nesher? It has four characteristics which we call simonim, and any bird with this simonim is not considered a kosher bird. Which are these four simonim? Etz bayesero, zefek, kurkuvano niklov, and doides. A nesher does not have an extra long finger, or some say an extra toe in the back. A pigeon does have an extra toe, a long toe in the front, and an extra toe in the back. And a pigeon is something which is tohar and is a kosher korban to bring to the mizbeach. The second simon is the zefek. A nesher does not have a zefek, that's the crop. A pigeon, a yoinob, does have a zefek. That's the bag that he stores the food before it goes to the kurkovan, to the gizzard. The third simon is a nesher does not have the gizzard, the kurkovan, niklaf. Very difficult to peel the inner part of the kurkovan, the gizzard. A pigeon and any kosher bird, the gizzard is very easy peelable. Niklav beyad. Some say if you leave it by the sun and it's easy peelable, it's also considered a kosher siman. The last and most important siman is a nesher is a doires ve'oichel, and a pigeon is not a doires ve'oichel. Doires ve'oichel, some say that it eats its prey before it dies. Others explain that it grabs the food in his hands and it brings it to his mouth. Or it steps on the prey and it tears with its beak. It stands with 2 feet on the prey and it tears with its beak. Others explain that it grabs food from the air. If you throw a piece of food in the air, it will grab it on the air. And that is a siman from a oif doires. A pigeon and a chicken will only pick up the food from the floor, will let it fall in the floor and then pick it up. A parrot will hold the food on his hand and bring it to his mouth. That is a siman from a doires. The Gemara says there's another siman from a doires. And there's a Kabbalah that we have in the Mishnah from Rabbi Eliezer bar Tzodok. A choylek es raglov, splits his feet, which means he puts 2 toes in the front and 2 toes in the back. That means that this bird eats by grabbing the food on his hand and bring it up to his mouth. And that is a simen ma'oif doires. There was a problem with the longhorn chickens. These are the most famous chickens that produce eggs throughout the entire world. And they came from Livorno. That's a city of North Italy. These chickens produce about 300 100 eggs a year per chicken. And they are not used for eating. They're not a good source of chicken meat, but the best eggs layers. Yet, there's a problem. A lot of times when the chicken is trying to get onto a pole, first it puts 2 fingers in front and 2 in the back, just like a parrot. And afterwards, when he gets more comfortable, he puts 3 in the front and 1 in the back. And it became a concern whether this is a kosher mean or not. It became an issue and was settled that this is not considered a non-kosher bird, since usually it feels very comfortable with 3 fingers in the front and 1 in the back. The Torah doesn't tell you the simonim from the oif tome, but the Torah tells us 24 different oifos which aren't clean. They're not tehorim. If you recognize all these 24 birds, then any other bird is 100% kosher. Today, we cannot recognize those birds, so we do not eat any bird unless we have a mesoiro. Animals have a simen. They have to be mafreses parso, split hoofs, and shoisas shesa, shteplosos, and should be walking on 2 toes. And ma'alas geiro, it chews its cud. Any animal which chews its cud and has split hooves, totally split, is 100% kosher. We don't have to have a mesoir. There are only 10 animals that are kosher. 3 domesticated and 7 wild. The 3 are shor, kevez, eiz, ox, sheep, and goats. The 7 chayes are ayol, tzvi, yachmur, ako, dishon, teoi, and zomer. 5 types of antelopes, wild ox, and giraffe. A wild animal, the chelev, a fatty tissue, is mutter to eat. A behemoth, which is not a wild animal, the chelev is also to eat. Isur kores. His life will not be extended, prolonged. Also, we cannot eat the gid hanoshe, the sciatic nerve, and the chelev around it also is a isur. Nikur is a process of cleaning any gid that is also to eat, and that is a very complicated process. Only some Sfaradim do nikur or achurayim, the back of the animal, but the Ashkenazim do not do nikur or achurayim. For sure, you cannot eat meat with blood in it. There's a isur dam. You can eat dam of a behemoth or an oif. For that, you have to have melicha, which means salting. That drains the blood of the animal. Or you need tzli, roasting it. And of course, before anything, the behemoth has to be slaughtered, shchito ke halocha. There are 5 halachos on shchito. 5 halocha leMoshe Sinai, how a person has to shecht an animal. As it says in today's Sedre, Parshas Re'ei, Vezovachto ka'asher tzivisicho. What is ka'asher tzivisicho? As I commanded you. Rashi says, Hein hilchos shechita shenemru leMoshe beSinai. The 5 halachos of shchita that was given to Moshe in Sinai. Which are these 5 halachos? The Gemara in the beginning of the Masechta Chulin, Daf Tes Amud Aleph says, Sheiyo, Droso, Chalodo, Hagromo, and Ikur. Sheiyo means he made a stop in between. How much is the stop? Enough to shecht a different behemoth in between. We don't stop at all. Droso means to chop, like somebody cutting a vegetable without going back and forth. Chalodo is like a chuldo, like a mouse. The knife is covered like a mouse under the skin, under the hair of the animal, or under a shmate, that is a nevelo. Hagromo, he cuts too high. He goes into the larynx, tabas agdoilo. Or he goes too low. He cuts into the lungs. That's why by a long neck animal it's very easy to shecht. A giraffe is the easiest to shecht. There is a Kabbalah from the shoichtim. You can measure the highest point that you can shecht by pulling down the ear of the animal, and you don't shecht higher than the tip of the ear touching the neck. The suggestion is the shchita should be performed at mid-neck, the middle part of the neck. Ikur is a machloikes Rashi and the Behag. Rashi says that he shechts with a pegam in the sakin, with a nick in the knife. The Behag says that he pull out the semen from its jaw and it shechted. Even by a oif that you don't have to shecht both simonim. You don't have to cut the windpipe and the foot pipe. One is enough. But if you pull one, the other one becomes possible. For that, they have to be careful that the bird should not be pulling its feet by the karka or by the wall, because then the simonim go out of its place. Shaul HaMelech says, Ushechatetem boze va'achaltem. Before the Milchemes Plishtim, there were a lot of people eating nevelas. So Shaul HaMelech told them, you have to shecht correctly. Shaul HaMelech showed them that the sakin has to be nivdok. Ze begematria 12. There are 12 bedikas. 3 sides, yamin, small, and emtza of the sharp side of the knife. Back and forth, that's hoilocho vehabo, that you have 6. Abisro ve'atufro, on the nail and on the bosor. Today we only make the bedika Bedikas Sakin on the fingernail only 6 times, but if you show it to a Chochom and he makes 6 Bedikas, you have altogether 12. Or after the Shechita, we make Bedika again 6 times. So altogether is 12. The Meiri says that when Yitzchok Avinu sent Esau to shecht a korban before he gives him a brocha, he told him all the halachos from Shechita. And he came back and he asked him, Ma ze miharto? What is it that you did so quick? Ze is the 12 Bedikas. Why did you do the Bedikas so quick? You have to do it slowly. A lady is kosher to shecht, but the meaning is not to let a lady shecht.